What if I told you that some of the most powerful nations in history, once home to millions of people, vast empires, and legendary rulers, no longer exist today? From kingdoms that vanished thousands of years ago, to modern countries that disappeared within our parents' lifetimes, the world's map has been rewritten again and again. This is the story of the countries that no longer exist, and what happened to them. Number 1. Babylon, the city that ruled the world. Long before Rome, long before Greece, there was Babylon. Rising from the banks of the Euphrates River nearly 4,000 years ago, Babylon wasn't just a city, it was a symbol of human progress. Massive walls, golden temples, and the legendary Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. At its peak, Babylon was the jewel of Mesopotamia, a center of science, law, and architecture. Under King Nebuchadnezzar II, it became a global superpower around 600 BC. But power invites enemies. In 539 BC, Cyrus the Great of Persia conquered Babylon. The once mighty empire fell almost overnight. The Persians kept the city alive for a while, but the glory was gone. Over centuries, invasions, earthquakes, and shifting rivers buried Babylon under layers of sand. Today, Babylon's ruins lie in modern-day rock, a silent witness to one of humanity's first fallen empires. Number 2. The Mayan civilization, lost in the jungle. Deep in the rainforests of Central America, an ancient civilization thrived, the Maya. For over 2,000 years, they built monumental cities, developed a written language, and mastered astronomy. At their height around 800 CE, the Mayans were spread across what's now Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. They built pyramids that reached toward the heavens, and a calendar so advanced, some believed it predicted the end of the world, but then, they vanished. By the year 900 CE, many great Mayan cities like Tikal and Copan were abandoned. Historians still debate why. Some say climate change, centuries of drought. Others blame warfare, overpopulation, or the collapse of trade routes. The truth is likely all of the above. The people didn't disappear, their descendants still live across Central America, but their great cities fell silent. A civilization once at its peak simply walked away. Number 3. The Ottoman Empire, the long goodbye. Fast forward to the Middle Ages. For over 600 years, one empire ruled the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa, the Ottoman Empire. Founded in 1299 by Osman I, the Ottomans rose from a small Turkish state to a vast empire stretching from Hungary to Yemen. At its peak in the 16th century under Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire controlled trade routes, religions, and entire continents. But like all empires, time took its toll. By the 19th century, the Ottomans were called the sick man of Europe. Nationalism, corruption, and European colonialism began to tear it apart. World War I was the final blow. The Ottomans sided with Germany and lost. In 1922, the empire officially dissolved. What remained became the modern Republic of Turkey under Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. The Ottoman Empire, once unstoppable, was gone. But its influence on art, cuisine, architecture, and law still shapes dozens of nations today. Number 4. Gran Colombia, South America's dream that failed. In the early 1800s, after centuries of Spanish colonial rule, Latin America erupted in revolution. Out of that fire came Gran Colombia, a bold experiment dreamed up by Simón Bolívar, the liberator of South America. Created in 1819, Gran Colombia united what is now Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Panama, and parts of Peru and Guyana, one massive republic under a single flag. Bolívar dreamed of a united Latin America, strong, democratic, independent. But reality wasn't so simple. The vast distances, regional rivalries, and clashing leaders tore it apart. By 1831, just 12 years after its birth, Gran Colombia had collapsed into separate nations. Bolívar died heartbroken, saying, "Those who serve the revolution plow the sea." Gran Colombia disappeared, but its dream of unity still echoes through Latin American politics to this day. Number 5. The Soviet Union, the superpower that vanished. Few collapses in modern history were as shocking or as fast as the fall of the Soviet Union. Formed in 1922 after the Russian Revolution, the USSR was a global superpower, spanning 11 time zones and ruling over 15 republics. It sent the first human into space. It built nuclear weapons. It rivaled the United States for world dominance. But beneath the propaganda, the system was crumbling. Economic stagnation, political corruption, and growing resistance in Eastern Europe all pushed the empire to the edge. In 1991, after decades of Cold War tension, the unthinkable happened. The Soviet Union dissolved, not through war, but through paperwork. 15 new nations emerged overnight, including Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and the Baltic states. The red flag over the Kremlin came down for the last time. An empire that once seemed eternal was gone. Number 6. Yugoslavia, the country that tore itself apart. In the heart of Europe, there was once a country called Yugoslavia. Formed after World War I, Yugoslavia united several Balkan nations under one flag: Serbs, Croats, Bosnians, Slovenes, Montenegrins, and Macedonians. For decades, it worked, especially under Josip Broz Tito, who kept peace through strong leadership and balance between East and West. But after Tito's death in 1980, ethnic tensions began to resurface. In the 1990s, the country violently disintegrated through a series of brutal wars. By 2006, Yugoslavia was gone, replaced by 7 independent nations. It's one of the most tragic modern examples of how politics, identity, and history can collide, turning unity into division. Number 7. Tibet, the country that vanished into another. High in the Himalayas once stood Tibet, a peaceful, isolated Buddhist kingdom known as the roof of the world. For centuries, Tibet governed itself under the Dalai Lama, blending religion and politics in a unique theocracy. But in 1950, the People's Republic of China invaded. By 1959, Tibet's government was dissolved, and the 14th Dalai Lama fled into exile in India. Since then, Tibet has been ruled as an autonomous region within China, but many Tibetans and activists still see it as an occupied nation. Tibet may no longer exist on the map, but its culture, religion, and identity endure across the world. Number 8. East Germany, when a country divided itself. For nearly half a century, there were 2 Germanys. After World War II, the defeated Nazi state was split between East and West, capitalist on one side, communist on the other. East Germany, officially the German Democratic Republic, became a Soviet satellite, complete with secret police, propaganda, and one of the most heavily guarded borders on Earth, the Berlin Wall. But in 1989, the impossible happened. The Berlin Wall fell. Crowds tore it down with bare hands, and within a year, East and West Germany were one nation again. East Germany disappeared, but its legacy remains in memories, architecture, and the people who lived through one of the world's most dramatic reunifications. Number 9. Prussia, the kingdom that built an empire, then vanished. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Prussia was a powerhouse, disciplined, efficient, and fiercely militarized. Under kings like Frederick the Great, Prussia built the foundation for what would become modern Germany. Its army, education system, and bureaucracy shaped European politics for over 200 years. But after World War II, the Allies saw Prussia as a symbol of German militarism. In 1947, it was officially abolished by decree. Prussia, once one of Europe's most feared powers, was wiped from existence. Its territory divided between modern-day Germany, Poland, and Russia. Today, only history remembers the name Prussia. Number 10. Ancient Carthage, the empire that Rome erased. Before Rome conquered the Mediterranean, there was Carthage, a North African trading empire founded by Phoenician settlers near modern-day Tunis. Carthage controlled vast wealth and a powerful navy. Its general, Hannibal, famously crossed the Alps with elephants to attack Rome. But Rome never forgave that. After 3 brutal wars, Rome destroyed Carthage in 146 BC, burning it to the ground and, according to legend, salting the earth so nothing could grow again. Of course, Carthage's story didn't truly end. The Romans rebuilt the city later, but the Carthaginian civilization was gone forever. Conclusion: the map is never final. Empires rise. Nations fall. Borders shift. Babylon, Carthage, Prussia, Yugoslavia, the Soviet Union. Different eras, different reasons, but the same truth: no country lasts forever. Some disappear through war, others through politics, revolution, or simply time. But their stories remind us that history is never still. It's alive, evolving, and always being rewritten. The world map you know today is only temporary, because in 100 years, some of today's countries might also be just memories, names in history books, ruins in the sand. Every border has a story, every country has an ending, and every ending makes way for something new. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more chilling and mind-blowing videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This has been Facts in the Veil. Until next time, stay curious.